our group 3 for the project. So to begin, we are going to be talking about Mission Ranch. It is a place that has been described as a richly wooded community rooted in togetherness. That's basically what they say on their homepage. To start off, we're going to talk to you all about the quadruple net value, which is an analysis that combines the triple bottom line of sustainability, which is the economic, environmental, and social sustainability, with sensory values that measure the appeal of the project in respect to sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. And to help us do that, we have our group members. So we have our team leader, Trey, me, your deputy leader. You have Kirk, Carissa, Taylor, Donna, Astrid, Jose, Huang, and Emily. And to start us off, we're going to do the video.
Mission Ranch, where community rings true. The first master plan community in College Station, a beautiful neighborhood catering to growing families as well as empty nesters. The secluded location adds a sense of security and privacy while still being within short distances of everything Aggieland has to offer. Mission Ranch will provide a number of great amenities, from a resident-only clubhouse with a resort-style pool, to 6 miles of walking trails, and events to grow the connection within the community. With a total build-out cost of $23 million, which includes construction and amenity costs, it is safe to say that Mission Ranch is a big project. Its taxable value of a large portion of the property started at $20,000, and now, after much of the development, has gotten up to $2 million. Adjacent properties have also seen a higher taxable value, as their property value is also increasing from the master plan. Mission Ranch doesn't see any tourism, but it does get activity from people who are interested in real estate or interested in buying their next dream home. With a total of 560 lots for sale and only 30 lots currently sold across the various products they have to offer, there is quite a way to go. But with the variety they have to offer, they don't believe they will have any problem selling these lots. The lack of selling was also a result of coming late into the game, as Bryan College Station area thrives in the early spring and summer, so the activity was already looking elsewhere or they weren't ready to commit. It is believed, though, the upcoming spring sales will do much better, and lots and houses will sell. Houses start at $300K. Adding custom additions can reach into the millions, though. On a level of bringing work to a project, Mission Ranch has brought the availability of 200 plus jobs just alone in construction. That doesn't list the amount of jobs it will take to keep it going year-round. Speaking of maintaining, that total build-out would come to $500,000 yearly, keeping the project looking right and employing the staff to keep it that way. Economically speaking, it is believed this project will do well, as it is one of a kind and competes like no other, as it is the only master plan of its kind in the area. The green space within Mission Ranch was designed with the intention to showcase a variety of different greenery. When considering the aerial view of Mission Ranch, a large percentage of the region is dedicated to overall green space. This focus on green space brings many benefits to the area, such as boosting sensory elements, the desire of location, air quality, and more. While the developers of Mission Ranch have left many native trees on the site, new plant species have been introduced to the development, especially along the main road and perimeters of each subsection. By leaving behind many mature trees and natural wooded areas, Caldwell Companies has left ample shade for residents when utilizing the lake, as well as a natural habitat for wild species in the area. One of the builders of the development, David Weekley Homes, utilizes innovative building techniques and principles to create a sustainable and more energy efficient home. This effort to minimize the carbon footprint of their construction has awarded them the title of Energy Star Certified Homes Market Leader. In addition to David Weekley Homes, a second builder, Blackstone Homes, have introduced energy-efficient features into their home with Energy Star appliances and reflective rooftops. Other ways the people of Mission Ranch practice energy conservation and water management include more energy efficient lighting usage in and around units. Radiant barrier roofs are commonly installed to help with cooling and heating within houses. Utilization of tankless water heaters, new and advanced equipment, and rainwater storage units. Overall, it is safe to say that Mission Ranch is the only master plan community in the Bryan College Station area that has met all of these.
Alright, so next up, we'll have economic property values.
Okay, my name's Kurt Williams. I researched everything economic when it came to Mission Ranch. I pulled these numbers from the Brazos Central Appraisal District. The first number you'll see is the biggest section of Mission Ranch, which came out to about 278 acres. I pulled those numbers before, being that it was just land and it was not occupied or anything. It came out to 20,000, and after it came out to almost 2 million. The adjacent property is actually across the street. That is what you know as the barracks. That appraisal value, so both these were in 2015 to state that, but that appraisal value started at 917 when that project started, and now it's up to 1.2. For tourism, there isn't many, unless you're a buyer or interested in real estate or looking for houses. As I stated before, it was just land, there was no occupancy. After, there's very small numbers, but they are growing. There's just not many sales happening right now. The total amount they have is 30 lots over all the units they have. And with 560, it's quite a ways to go, but you know, they're doing it. It's just going to happen over the time. Fee for planning, that was 8% over the total construction value, which came out to 1.36. Total build out was 23 million. Within that 23 million, the amenity value is 6 million. That covers your clubhouse, the lake, the walkways, all the nature areas. The number of jobs created, for example, Caldwell companies to work on the project took a general manager, a project manager, maintenance, HOAs, and analysts, and a sales team of about 3, and as well as a contract administrator. 12 to 15 people. 24 were in landscaping alone for numerous months, and there was a total of 8 home builders, and per trade, there's apparently 2 workers at least. So at that is 24 tradesmen times the 8 builders is just alone in construction. That's 192 plus jobs. And that's not when it comes to their sales inside the Welcome Center and whatnot, and that's yearly. The budget for the yearly build out, which comes in management, is $500,000. That covers all the gates, the landscaping, the trash, the chemicals, electric, water, the cost of the management, etc. when it comes to managing the property. Number of jobs created would be just in HOAs, the maintenance guys to keep the project going, and through the various subcontractors throughout the year. They started selling in April last year, which was a bad time to start selling. BCS area does good early spring and sale, all the way into summer. So if someone's not looking at a project in early spring, it's probably not going to happen until the following year. Or at least that's what they've experienced, just late sales. They just didn't do well over the selling time. The investments they've added would be into the trees, and they're also adding a townhome section up in the front before you get into the Mission Ranch off of Hallman. The adjacent property that's across the street is just not like Mission Ranch, so they think within that area and of course College Station, there's only one of these, so they're expecting to hit sales pretty good.
Okay, my name's Tana. I'm moving on to environmental. Me and Taylor did that section. So green space and plant material. We estimated that about 50% of the property was dedicated to green space, and according to the aerial view of the site, you can see that it's spread out throughout the whole region. On the website, it even claims that there's acres of green space, so basically they go off of the green space. The variety of greenery Majority of the green space is planted trees. I put a picture right here. You can see that most of the trees are new and they have a lot of shrubs and grass, but they seem to keep the flowers minor and at a small rate for lower water usage and low maintenance. So when it comes to environmental certifications, they don't have any in terms of sustainable sites initiative certification and more. They haven't focused on environmental certifications. Okay, so stormwater management practices. We estimated that about 20% of there's about 20% of impermeable surface, and for rainwater harvesting, I was looking at a listing online, and one of the houses has rainwater storage through collection tanks. So I started looking at the stats of Brazos County, because obviously there isn't stats for Mission Ranch specifically. So I estimated that about Brazos County gets about 40 inches of rain per year. So for a house that's 28 square feet, that's about 50 gallons of water harvest per year, and most of the houses at Mission Ranch run a lot bigger than 2,800 square feet. And then I have here the retention facilities. So I highlighted all the lakes and the water regions of Mission Ranch.
Alright, so energy conservation, as it was mentioned in the video, there's two particular builders that I was able to look up. So David Whitley Homes, they utilize innovative building techniques and principles to create a sustainable and more energy efficient home. And their effort to minimize the carbon footprint has led them to gain the title of the Energy Star Certified Homes Market Leader. And then Blackstone Homes has introduced energy efficient features with Energy Star appliances and reflective rooftops. And then in College Station, there are on-site energy surveys available, so they'll come out and evaluate and pinpoint energy conservation. And then water management practices. So it's under the Wellborn Special Utility District. There's not really much out there at the moment, but for College Station, there's the Brazos Valley Water Smart, which is the map. So this was as of yesterday, so the red means like we don't need to water right now. So turn off your sprinklers. And then there is low maintenance plant material out there because we do have frequent droughts, but it's not anything where like we live in the desert. So it's good with or without water. And then there aren't any environmental education programs at the moment specific to Mission Ranch, but in College Station there's Adopt a Street to enhance the look of the community, Adopt a Greenway it's a partnership with Keep Brazos Beautiful. And so you can play an active role in cleaning and beautifying an open space. And then the Only Rain Down the Drain campaign, you can place decals on the stormwater drains to help deter water pollution.
Alright, I'm Astrid. I'll be taking care of the social and cultural aspects of Mission Ranch. For safety and security, as you know, it's still a relatively new property. There literally has been no crimes reported within the area. But some of the things that could aid in its safety would be the street lights around the area and the proximity to emergency services. For public access and connectivity, the main entrance road is on Holloman, and it connects to Rock Prairie. That can basically take you to any part of College Station you'd want to go. The main entrance roads have 2 bike lanes, and within the property, once it's finished, it'll have about 6 miles of sidewalks and walkways, and the streetscape is pretty well developed. There's some sidewalks that probably should be added in certain areas, but overall it's pretty good. For health, as I mentioned, there'll be those 6 miles of trails, but within the College Station area, there's over 400 miles of trails for cycling and just walking. And within the property, there'll be there's 1 park already, and then there'll be 2 parks once it's finished. And for the air quality improvements, there's a lot of landscaped areas and a lot of preserved forest areas as well. And for education, they're working with the River Bend Elementary School. That's pretty much right on property. It kind of really is solidifying that feeling of a family community. And the employees of Mission Ranch are pretty helpful if you want any information on the property itself.
Alright, so I'm Jose and I'm taking care of the second part of the social and cultural. So there's a welcome center obviously being planned out in the future of Mission Ranch, and that is included as part of your HOA fees. With it comes a lifestyle director, which, you know, guide your activities like daily activities, health activities, stuff like that. There's going to be a gym inside it, if I remember correctly, and they're going to plan public events inside to promote the community, stuff like that. So like the Fall Festival, which happened last month. So there's 500 residential units by completion, or at least supposed to be, and it's close to areas like the barracks, paraching points, other local areas, so it's really well connected. It's a good spot. It's close to Texas A&M, so new professors and stuff like that have a great place to live, as well as a great place to send their kids to school. Also close to Easterwood Airport. And Mission Ranch doesn't necessarily have like a historical significance within the Brazos Valley, but it is based on Texas history and just like homes that have been developed in the hill country. And the pedestrian comfort, obviously whenever we go into Mission Ranch, it's somewhere that you want to be, it's relaxing. There's a nice lake to be, and it's kind of secluded, so you're away from, like the daily everyday activities like traffic and stuff like that.
Alright, my name is Wong, and this is Emily. We're going to do the sensory part of the project. And so I'm going to be doing the visual impacts. So a lot of visual impacts are like the entry features, the welcome center, pocket parks, amenity centers, and there's like major water feature impacts that are also notable, like the lake, the pond, the drainage stream, and like all the trees that are planted here. The property is maintained once a week, every Thursday, I believe, and properties that has been enhanced from Mission Ranch being there is like the Great Oaks on the edge of Mission Ranch. Mission Ranch actually has a crew that are constantly improving the Great Oaks. Alright, so smell. Mission Ranch does not smell of garbage or anything because they work with the College Station BTU company, which maintains their trash facilities once a week. There are no restaurants in Mission Ranch, and there are no vendors currently in Mission Ranch. But occasionally, Mission Ranch will host vendors for different activities such as the fall festivities. But another smell that would be notable would be the trails, the 6 miles of trails that she was talking about. You can just smell the nature walking around.
So I'll be doing touch, sound, and taste. For touch, there's a couple of changeable water sources, like the big lake that we all saw when we drove in, the retention pond, the runoff canal, and they do have a pool coming soon with the new amenities center. There's no facilities for the blind, and the neighborhood itself is not recognized by the ADA. However, some of their builders are ADA compliant. There is a railroad about 4,000 feet from the entrance, and there's also seating along the lake and trails. For sound, there's not really any big music venues in the area, but the only places that do host music acts are the New Republic Brewing Company and the Cove, and they're both within like 3 miles away, but they also close by 9 p.m. So it's not a threat in terms of like noise pollution after dark. They also have something like rules that the HOA enforces that restricts noise after dark as well, and there's also trees to buffer any noise pollution. And there's also music that plays at the front office. For taste, there's a variety of vendors that come out during the socials. These socials include anything from a pumpkin patch to a breakfast tailgate. They've even mentioned something about doing a wine night, and there's no edible plants in the neighborhood.
All right, so what what you should take away from this project. We did the quadruple net analysis, or net value analysis of Mission Ranch, which is social, cultural, economic, environmental, and sensory. The social, cultural, just going over it again, safety, no crime, a bunch of street lights, so you kind of feel safe walking around at night, not a big deal. Public access, plenty of trails and roads coming into the property. I think there was 6 miles of trails in Mission Ranch, and then there's also 400 miles outside of Mission Ranch. Health, all the trails, I mean, you know, get your cardio up, get your heart pumping. Forest, so that, you know, kind of helps with the air quality around. Obviously, there's a bunch of construction going on around there, and they'll, you know, continue. There's, you know, 530 more houses to be built, so that does not really help health for a little bit, but eventually that will, you know, go away. Education, plenty of schools around. Obviously, we're going to one right now. We're standing in one. There's an elementary school right next to it, and there's A&M Consolidated, a bunch of high schools. The economic taxable value of the property was almost $2 million. The revenue, they only really get revenue from occupancy. HOA fees are about $1,300. Obviously, there's no tourism, you know, because it's a private community. Total construction value is around $17 million. Environmental, plenty of green space, plenty of trails. There's places for fishing, ponds, so it is a green area. And sensory, as we just talked about, nothing really to taste, although there is, you know, Laredo Taco across the street, which is pretty good. There's not that much sound except for the train that might roll by. So touch, you know, ponds, trees, if you want to go feel some trees, there's plenty of those to touch. That's pretty much it for a quadruple net value. And y'all have any questions?